going on? It's AnGelo signing in. It's good to see y'all. I know we was off for a week last week. It was my friend Danny. Shout out to Danny. It was his wedding. So definitely shout out to him and his new wife. It was a wonderful ceremony. I might actually post up some pictures once I get them into the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, hit me up to figure out how to get into the Discord. That way you can see a lot more stuff and you can really get more in touch with me and with DarksKing, everybody. Because yeah, I definitely want y'all to get more tapped in. I definitely want the discussions to increase in volume. Excuse me, sorry. I definitely want us to be able to gain more knowledge together, honestly. And just so y'all know, I don't know if those of y'all know, this. Control the Controllable shirts. They are available now. So if you want to check out the store, I'm gonna post the link up here in a second. That way you guys can actually go to the store and get it. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it real quick. What you're hearing in the background, I have been extremely late and tardy on making 29, but I still want to. A lot of it has just been, a good bit of it has just been it's gonna be a lot more personal. So that has had an effect on it. It's definitely played a role in why it's not being heard yet. It's gonna be a little bit shorter too. So there is a lot that's just going on. I mean, a lot of it is because a lot of my music reflects real life and what goes on with me and what goes on in my life and what's surrounding me. So as I go through more experiences, there's more to write. So that's kind of been the nature of that, why it's been like that. It's most definitely just things have been big, definitely had a lot of positives. Definitely had a lot of things that have been going on that have been good. But I also most definitely have had a lot of things that have been, negative or concerning, whatever, And I think it's just one of those things where, there's no time limits on life. It kind of gets shown on it kind of shows you whenever it's time to do things, being careful. You just got to be sensible about it, pay attention, make sure you know what you're doing. But yeah, just one of the little things that I've learned. As you can see, it says rap deaf in the internet. I'm going to wait a little bit for some more people to tap in, get connected, get settled. If you are here, go ahead, say what's up, say hi, say something in the comments. That way I can recognize you, say what's up. But yeah, it's been an interesting thing. Speaking of rap, speaking of music, it's an interesting time to be a rapper, to be into music, and on that level specifically, because a lot of us have been experiencing fatalities. A lot of us have died. A lot of us have been out here suffering. It's crazy, and it's scary. It is truly scary. And I think one part of this has been like people really discussing and talking about, you know, at length. Why is it that the rappers are being specifically targeted? Why does it seem like whenever it's a rapper versus someone else who might be having money or, you know, have some status or whatever, why is it that they are specifically targeted, and why are they targeted so aggressively? And I think it's an important thing for us to really make note of, really talk about, because it is deep. It is deep. It is deep. I'm gonna try and see if I can pull up this video that has Jody Breeze talking about the subject and a couple other things that I wanted to talk about as well in it. Because it's just definitely a good talking piece. It's something that's, I think, is interesting. Especially because it is one of those things that we don't always think about. You know, why a specific group or person or people are targeted. Give me 1 second. Once we get a few more people in there, I'll go ahead and pull up the video. For now. Let's see. Getting some more people in here. Sorry, this weather's got me a little messed up. Let's see. Magic Sister said, I'm ready for this talk. I watched the YouTube video, but like, I don't watch the news because I have mental health issues and that triggers me. I'm so sad he's gone. Yeah. What do you think about the purge laws? You talking about the DSOG? What's up, by the way? Are you talking about where they were talking about letting out certain criminals and things of that nature? Because I did hear about that. I know that's supposed to be happening in a few different states. I don't know exactly when that's supposed to get enacted, but I can't say that offhand. Frankly, I'm wondering if they feel like it's, and this isn't really relevant to this particular topic, but it kind of is. But I'll just say, I feel like some of that is because they don't feel like it's financially feasible anymore to keep those people incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? They don't consider it to be, they consider it to be more of a financial burden. I feel like it's got to have something to do with money. Yeah, I know, it sounds wild. It truly sounds wild, but it is something that has apparently been going through the pipeline. I don't know if it's been approved yet, but apparently a lot of, what is it? Not habitual offenders, but like even violent offenders might be getting out. Hold on. Before I say anything, let me go ahead and, because it's in Illinois. Here it is. Yes. State senator proposes changes to Illinois Safety Act amid purge rumors. Across social media, posts list the range of violent crimes that they say will be considered non-detainable, including second-degree murder, kidnapping, robbery, burglary, and arson. Here we go. Yes, it's the Safety Act. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. There it is. And let's actually kind of get into that. Since we got a little bit of time, we can go ahead and dig into this real quick. Hold on. Here we go. All right. Are you guys seeing this? Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so let's scroll on down and we'll see what this looks like. The 2021 Safety Act, IGICJIA roles and responsibilities. 2021 Illinois Safety, Accountability, and Fairness and Equity Today Safety Act enacts extensive reform impacting many areas of the criminal justice system, including pre-arrest, diversion, policing, pre-trial, sentencing, and corrections. The Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority is tasked with implementing several of the Act's provisions. These areas of the Act, these areas of the Act include policing, pre-trial, and deaths in custody, as well as leading and serving on task forces. The article highlights areas of the Act, details ICJIA's role in legislation, and shares ICJIA's research related to the Act's provisions. All right, let's see if we can get some meat and potatoes of this. Signed into law by Governor J.B. Pritzker on January 22nd, 2021. The Safety Act implements sweeping reform impacting many aspects of the criminal justice system, including pre-arrest diversion, policing, pre-trial, sentencing, and corrections. Many provisions of the Act take effect July 1st, 2021. So this may have been the initial one. Let's see. Here's the summary. The Safety Act is extensive, incorporating many aspects of the criminal justice system and crime victim support. The Act covers 3 areas of criminal justice reform: policing, pretrial, and corrections, jail and prisons, described in the list below. Due to the scope and breadth of the Act, these lists are not detailed and may not be exhaustive. Please reference the full Act for specific and exact language. The asterisks indicate areas in which ICJIA has a role. So, in use of force, the Act offers new standards for when police use force, requires officers to provide aid after using force, requires officers to intervene if other officers are use unauthorized or excessive force, prohibits police to access any military equipment surplus program, purchasing specific types of equipment. Sorry, this is a lot, but I'm making sure that we do it right. Requires publishing of any purchase request or receipt of any equipment through any military purchasing program. Expands use of and changes guidelines and requirements for body-worn cameras and who may access, review, and footage. Expands officer training on topics including crisis intervention, de-escalation, use of force, high-risk traffic stops, implicit bias, racial and ethnic sensitivity training, and emergency response. Mandates use of force reporting to FBI National Use of Force Database. Requires reporting of deaths in police custody due to use of force. And there is an asterisk on that, so there might be a little bit more to that. Complaints of misconduct. It creates a statewide decertification process for officers. Allows the Attorney General to investigate, initiate civil lawsuits, and enforce settlements against police agencies that have a pattern of depriving individuals of their rights. Create stricter body camera regulations and a Class 3 felony for clear and willful attempts to obstruct justice. Allows for investigation of anonymous complaints against officers. Bans the destruction of police misconduct records. Allows compliant filings against police officers without sworn affidavits or other legal documentation. Removes the requirements that officers under investigation must be informed of complaints, names, or of the officer in charge of the investigation. Prohibits local governments from retaliating against employees to report improper criminal actions. Expands notification of police misconduct to the Illinois State Training and Standards Board. Makes data on misconduct more accessible and requires a publicly available database for any police misconduct that results in the certification. Okay, so a lot of this is actually talking about, and this might just be the first half. Of course, we haven't gotten into like the nitty-gritty of the stuff. Let me see. It looks like a lot of this stuff is trying to regulate the officers. Now, let me see. Now, this might be the part we're worried about. Even though those things are good, in the pretrial area, the Act abolishes cash bail, prevents the results of risk assessment from being the sole basis for a detention decision, and informs the accused person of the tool. Excuse me. Establishes a pretrial practices data oversight board to oversee data collection and analysis. Establishes the domestic violence pretrial practices working group. adds notification of pretrial hearing crime victims, changes the offense class for violations and conditions of pretrial release, changes pretrial release procedures, including release of own recognizance, warrant alternatives, conditions of release, including electric monitoring and home confinement, revocation, modification of sanctions, may revoke pretrial release under certain circumstances. Let me see, correctional highlights. Okay, let's see. Okay, here might be what it is. Let's see. Requires reports of deaths in custody, enhances sentencing credits for incarcerated individuals, amends court options and sentencing decisions to prison, alters mandatory supervised release terms, amends definition of habitual criminal first-degree murder charges, clarifies sentence credit for time in custody for home or detention. I'm sorry, I keep scrolling down. Increases eligibility for individuals who are sentenced for certain drug offenses to enter diversion or probation programs. Requires correction staff training related to pregnant women and provides education and assistance with care of children and newborn infants. Some of this, to some degree, this is not public to share. Let's see. Let me actually post this. The SOG Mendel says there are other cities where laws signed on October 1st. There are no police in their city. Yeah, and a lot of it may be because some of these regulations that are happening. I know some of this stuff is happening in Illinois. I didn't know if it is spread out to other cities. But what it's seeming like is they're starting to reformat exactly how they approach certain offenses, like with cash bail and things and other things of that nature. Let me see. Because it looks like people are cracking back against it. Let's see. After much backlash from law enforcement, changes could be on the way to Illinois Safety Act. The controversial measure that eliminates cash bail. And yes, it does say that it will take effect on January 1st, 2023. Which basically means that most people, let's see, supporters of the Safety Act say access to money shouldn't determine whether or not a suspect should be detained, while opponents fear eliminating cash bail will allow dangerous criminals to go free. So that's the concern. It's not so much a purge law, and this is why I'm glad we did kind of clarify this. What they're talking about is they're eliminating the cash bail, which means it eliminates the possibility of somebody being held or detained without them having to pay their bill. Like normally in like pre-trial, they lock you up, they let you get stuck in there for a while, and if you're able to bail out, you can get out. But if there is no bail, you're stuck where you at. You know, you're either stuck where you at or they have to let you free. So you may still be out in the pre-trial possibly. But it's one of those things that, like most things that happen with the government, even though there might be some dirt to it, we definitely have to make sure to do our research. I will say that I do appreciate the SOG bringing that up. That's definitely something that I'm going to run by DarksKing, and we may do a whole entire pod about, but only whenever we have suitable information. That way we know what we're talking about and we know what's going on. Because I don't want to go ahead, because I could just go ahead and be like, yeah, this is purge law. You know, like, they're just going to let niggas out of jail. We're all going to die. Like, I'm not doing that. That's sensationalism. And that's not what we do here at all. That's not what we do here. We do not believe in sensationalist journalism. If you want that, you can watch Fox News or something, or go on the internet. That's not what we do. So I do appreciate the brother for letting us know and telling us about that. But I definitely do want to try and get knee deep into this particular topic. This is something we can definitely talk about that I have done a little bit of research on. That, and I feel like the person who was in this interview was actually Jody Breeze, and he did make a lot of good points. I'll try and make this as short as possible and see if I can harp on right where he was at. Let me see. Hold on. We'll start this real quick. Because he did make a lot of good points. So we're not going to watch the whole video because it's about 17 minutes long. We're not watching the whole video, but we will watch a good bit of it just to get an idea of where the man is coming from, because I feel like that's important. I mean, we just want to make sure everything's cool.
You can't allow nobody to get up on you, bruh, when you getting money and you walking around. Like, I don't give a damn if you at Kroger's or Walmart. If you got a female with you, best believe that bitch got it in her purse.
But Jody, why should we have to, as rappers, and I hear what you're saying, have to walk around like that because of our raps? And I'm gonna give you an example. Michael Jordan don't have to walk around with a basketball. Denzel Washington, if he plays a gangster in a movie, he don't have to walk around and fear for his life. Any other profession, besides football player, basketball player, anybody, they got money, they got jewelry. You ain't seen people running up and shooting Trae Young. It would have for a basketball player, football player to be shot. They would definitely have to be out there banging, like Clinton or something back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Well, they in some stuff, and I get that then. If that's the energy that you're putting out,
yeah.
But why should, just because you rapping and you're successful, that we have to fear our own people? That's my question, and not just to you, Jody, it's to the people out there. When no other profession has to walk around like that. Stevie Wonder didn't have to walk around like that. Lionel Richie didn't have to walk around like that. They made more money than any rapper.
Yeah, but
Michael Jackson didn't have to walk around like that.
You got to look at what they came from and the way they was able to do what they was doing, and the way rappers are able to get to where they at. You still coming from that life though. You coming from that life to where you had to have it.
All blacks are all basketball players, or you think they didn't come from the hood?
I'm talking about that rapping gangster rap shit, this rap shit, like this, all this shit people be popping.
Right.
When you popping like that, you are representing a certain culture. You represent a certain
element. I get it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you know where we come from.
Yeah, right.
So when we rapping, that's what we rapping about. Mm-hmm. So don't think because you made it out the neighborhood that you don't still have to use the same tactics. You still got to keep the same tactics, bro. I'm telling you, this is where the game has changed, bro. This is why young niggas is getting killed and older niggas is getting out the way. You feel me? Because people in our age range, we can look at something and tell that we ain't got to get involved with that because it's gonna be some fucking problems.
Exactly. We see the future with that.
Young niggas we ain't going back to tell these young niggas that, like, look, bro, peep your surroundings first.
Yeah.
Before you get on them drugs, before you go out here and doing all the extra shit, peep what's going on around you for. Cause I can say the era I grew up in, that what people were good at.
Yeah.
We was great at that. Know your surroundings, bro. Peep out what's around you before you get retarded.
Well, this is the issue that I've been seeing online as well. And it kind of hits to what Wick is talking about, but then kind of goes with what you're saying at the same time, too. They're saying that, why ain't nobody mad at the killers of PNB Rock? Why ain't nobody mad at the mindset of the people that took
that's doing
his
it
life?
Right.
Why ain't nobody saying that, hey, maybe y'all shouldn't have been out there robbing and he'd be alive? Or is that just something that we understand?
Not that he shouldn't be wearing jewelry that he worked for.
It's a part of the game. People in LA been doing that for how long? They been catching rappers slipping, robbing them, doing all that.
But why rappers, Jody? Why not other? They
rob all kind of people. The rappers stick out because that's what everybody want to be. Like this,
cause they robbed the Black Godfather out there too.
They don't rob that. They don't give a damn who you is, man.
Mariah Carey.
Listen, bro, they will rob you in Cali, bro.
Right.
If you from the street, if you from that kind of life, then you should already know that.
Yeah. But we all from that. See, you trying to separate the two. Like if you rap, you from a different. They're like when I had to get on you last time about East Side, West Side. We do the same thing that y'all do. All black people are from the hood, mostly. Mm-hmm. So it ain't no Well, if you rap, you from a different place than a person that played ball or a person that Martin Luther King was out the hood. Out of Auburn Avenue.
See, but he wasn't selling. He wasn't on the corner selling drugs either. He wasn't ducking and dodging no police and
He
no
was getting beat by the police. He was getting beat by the police.
It's a difference though, bro. It just say you play basketball and you from the hood.
Right.
People gon' look out for you a little bit more than they gonna look out for the
That's
nigga
what I was
who's
trying to
selling,
get you to get
who's
to.
selling dimes and dubs and QPs of hard.
That's a support system.
Yeah, like crack cocaine.
But you know what, though, Jody?
Y'all ain't gonna have the same.
Yes, we do, because we take care of our ball players. When it was a thing back in the hood, if we knew that you could play ball in Decatur, right? We wouldn't let you sell no dope. We wouldn't let
That's what I'm saying.
We wouldn't when we took you out to the club and we knew you was that one that's gonna come out the hood. We got around when the fight happened. Everybody grabbed goddamn behind.
That's what I'm saying.
You
so what about the young one that sell crack cocaine all day? What about him?
Again. So I want you to notice what they was talking about, how in so many ways, and this is Jody Breeze's view, and I don't entirely disagree with it. There's just a lot that I want to add on to it. Is his view is a lot of the reason, and this is one of the things I was talking about, like, is are rappers now becoming an endangered species? Or honestly, have we always been? And some of it is because the lifestyle that they come from and the things that they was promoting, the things that they was actively doing before they got into rap, put the target on their back. And this is his view, saying that put the target on their back versus somebody else that may come out of that environment, even, you know, the hood or whatever you want to call it, because they're not engaged in some of the same activities as a lot of the rappers are. They are more likely to be considered someone to protect versus, you know, the dope man down the street who happens to rap, and they like, oh, well, let him go. One thing I will say, and this is, and it's not that I disagree with that. I don't. But one thing I want to add to that, because I've been through certain things like this where, you know, I've been personally targeted, or somebody that, you know, for better or for worse, somebody that made a threat, said something crazy, and, you know what I'm saying, tried to come after me for something that happened, you know, just because I'm an artist. A lot of it is not just, it doesn't just stop at, oh, well, he was a drug dealer before he was a rapper, so we don't mess with him, you know. A lot of it is truly the fact that as a rapper, as an artist, we have, even from one thing that diverges us greatly from a lot of artists is that we not only have a voice, but we are encouraged to have a loud voice when it comes to certain things and certain themes and really whatever we want to talk about. One of the main drawing points for me in hip hop was the fact that it was encouraged for you to have a voice, for you to be loud, for you to be boisterous about whatever it is you're feeling, whatever is on your mind, whatever is on your spirit, you can express it. Open expression is a power that goes very unchecked when it comes to the hip hop world versus a lot of other things, because that's half the reason why they didn't like us at first. If you do your history, if you look into your history, a lot of the reasons why rappers didn't get a lot of radio play and a lot of other things like that in the 70s and late 70s and the 80s was primarily because they were scared. They were scared of how much such and such, MC such and such may run his mouth. And not only how much he's gonna run his mouth, because you know he's gonna run his mouth, but how much that's going to influence, you know, these kids, these other people in the world, you know, these other individuals who are listening to this and are taking it in, you know, because let's be honest, rap is one of the most influential, hip hop as a culture is one of the most influential forces of nature that we have had in the world in a long time. So with that being said, if you put that down on a micro level, you know, some random nigga from your little old hood can come out and say a lot more and speak their mind a lot more and have a lot more power than anybody else from their own little hood and everything. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Magic System. I'm not devaluing. I was just finishing my point. But yeah, she said I'm mixed and I was bullied for years for people of color. I feel weird admitting that, but it's true. I know this is about rappers, but honestly, it's a lot of PLC that are struggling. And yes, I agree. And some of it is partially for some of the same reasons. We're gonna get a little bit more into that, but a lot of it is that, and this is my opinion, is that people do not like it when someone else is able to have more liberty with their voice than them. Now, granted, this is perception. This is their perception. Any and everybody has a voice. The only real difference is this man over here with a mic may have more of a platform for his voice than Joe Blow down the street. And the reason that is so important, is because Joe Blow down the street gonna have a problem with that. Because he gonna feel like he not being heard, you know. He gonna feel that's why you get a lot of people who want to feel like they have to control what a rapper or artist says because they want to be represented. They want their little hood or their little area to be represented. And that's not necessarily a rapper's job. You know, that's not their job. Their job is to go out, speak their truth, express what they're expressing, and move like that. And people get that confused, and a lot of that jealousy can turn into hate. A lot of that hate can turn into anger, and a lot of that anger can push somebody to do something as seriously as killing someone, trying to rob them, trying to, you know, debase them, you know, and express pride in doing it. Because with a lot of these, you'll see people come out the woodwork and say, yeah, I did that. You know, I snatched that dude's chain. I did this or that. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. That's what that is. If you ever listen to the old Diamonds and Wood song by UGK, I think it was Smoke D was talking in the beginning, because I think they were they had him on there talking while he was still in jail. He said, when you dealing with somebody from your own little city and your little town, and when you're around, they sound like they choking on a bone, like they got a bone in their throat, that shows you they can't stand you. That they can't stand you. And let's get a little deeper into this video, because Jody's actually gonna kind of speak on that particular thing here in a second.
He don't get that support system.
Okay, then that's the difference. And majority of them be the rappers.
Right.
These are the rappers. So if the rappers ain't getting that look, ain't nobody standing around no nigga who sell dope all day saying don't do nothing to him.
Right.
You feel right. Now get his ass.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you grow and you start rapping and you doing this shit and you come from this lane,
right.
When you make it to the NBA or college and all that shit, you ain't went through what this man done went through.
Right.
So why is you worried about somebody shooting you? You ain't did shit to nobody.
Right.
This little man been selling dope to somebody's mom and dad and sisters and brothers. This man done shot at a couple people. Mm-hmm. This man got the police mad at everybody. You know what I mean? Like, this shit two totally different. You from the same hood.
But two different paths.
Two totally different ball games.
Gotcha.
How do we get people to not have to experience this? Or is this just what comes with the hood? It ain't gonna never change. Folks just need to abide by the hood laws when we go into the hood and just understand that that's what it's gonna be? Or can we actually structurally change all of this shit?
Them folks said what went on then.
Yeah.
The internet shit. You feel? This is the biggest problem. I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's cool to be on the internet, bro, and it's cool to represent this shit, bro. But I'm telling you, it done fucked everything up.
Yeah.
No matter how good it is, to me, social media ain't worth as much bad come from it. It's not worth the good to me. I don't care what's coming off of the internet. The results of what's coming off of the internet. from people being on the internet in general, like a regular motherfucker. Like, bro, this shit is corrupting people's mind. Like, this shit has really got people thinking that you can't be nobody without a social media page or bro, do you know how many rich people, cool ass people, player ass people out here that you know nothing about?
Answer me this, Joe.
Like, it's a lot of them with no internet and shit.
Don't be cutting Jody off in the middle of his sentence. Trying to give us game.
Nah, but I'm just saying though, that just common sense, bro. This shit, you know what it is. It's social media, bro. Like, this shit is ridiculous.
I heard somebody say one time, and you know what? see, he already knows he's a.
What, bro? Well,
y'all got me in here drinking, and he.
Hold on, let me see if I can scroll up a little bit because there was something he said later on that I wanted y'all to catch.
what you do, if you can get somebody to believe you, you can do it.
Yeah.
Man, we did not come up that we ain't come up like that. So we gonna understand. I'm never gonna understand this shit.
Yeah.
We're living by it.
Yeah. Do you feel like we're becoming numb to rappers dying? And this is for both of y'all. Are we numb to it now, and is it just like another day?
Shit, y'all nigga be tripping about that shit. Now I gotta go out here and be cool. I'm already cool now, putting the ice on the coolest.
Yeah.
All right, here it is.
Inspirational. It's
Brown used to say, shout out Lil Flip for the exotic pop.
yeah.
Jury in their presence. Jury. Texas, what's happening?
This particular part is kind of talking about, like, you know, the flossing with jury and everything. And this is gonna kind of go back into my point. Let me see if I can get to the right part.
Yes. Last time Jody was here, him and Wicked managed to make me come out myself. Question.
Here it is.
Somebody said on the internet that when rappers wear jewelry and they take it into the hood, that they're shitting on the people that sees them in the jury. And folks feel like they being shitted on by somebody wearing that jewelry in their presence. What are your thoughts? And did you ever find yourself in a situation where you had on too much goddamn jewelry?
For the first question, I'm gonna answer that just like that. As much money some of these little niggas be spending on them they jewelry, they chains and diamonds and shit. Yes, you are shitting on niggas when you go back to the hood. You shitting on people outside of the hood. You shitting on people there wearing all the goddamn ice around your goddamn neck like that. So when you go back to where you from, and you know see, niggas like to say it's inspirational or it's they be using all these new words.
Nah, which inspirational is it?
They be trying to make it look like we trying to
Inspire your ass to do something.
No, bruh. These folk hurt when you go back down through him. So while you shining like that, if you gonna shine like that, then take care of everything around you. Ooh. That's the only way it's gonna be good. Take care of everything. Now I done try to do that, and I ain't the type of person who wear jewelry and do all that shit. But when I done put jewelry on, did all that, the reason I didn't do it is because it's too much extra. I thank God for the sauce I got.
Yeah.
Without it.
Yeah.
Because if I felt like I needed it, I would be around here doing the same thing they doing. But I don't feel like material stuff, that's how it would get you killed.
Yeah.
I don't want to be defending my life over
some damn jewelry.
You know what I mean? And I done rocked it around. I came with the BMF era. These niggas had ice. Everybody had ice on. That's when niggas were really wearing ice.
Yeah.
Niggas don't start back rocking gold. See, I always wore gold regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, that's why I ain't never wore no diamonds and shit. Y'all niggas be tripping about that shit. Now I gotta go out here and be cool. I'm already cool now, putting the ice on the coolest.
Yeah.
You feel me? You want to take my life. You want to for some jewelry.
Right.
But you know what jewelry do for these motherfuckers?
What?
Self-esteem. It's giving them, niggas know they can go put on some ice, can be the lamest nigga in the world. But if you got some jewelry on and you put your outfit on,
to your self-esteem.
everybody confused, bro. You gotta go. This shit come from within. It starts from within, bro.
Yeah.
If you ain't in tune within, it don't matter what you look like out there, man. And that's why we losing like we look. It's the shit. Everything is on the internet. It is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Like people living in a pre-recorded world. Like I know what I'm finna do. I know what I'm finna show you. Why?
Do you feel like we're becoming numb to rappers dying? And this is for both.
Let me stop this here. But I hope you caught what he said A lot of what he's saying is sometimes it's the flaws in the jury. The image is another part of it. And that ties into what I was saying about, our voice as artists, as rappers or whatever, because I never wore a lot. You know what I mean? I never was trying to, go to the store and get all this stuff. Like when I was a kid, I thought that was what I needed to do. 'Cause I mean, look, I grew up like a lot of us did, us 20, 30 somethings. I grew up in that era he's talking about. You know what I mean? Where all we saw was ice on TV. You know, I thought that's what I needed, you know. And he's right. A lot of people, a lot of people, especially now, they need that self-esteem boost. They need that dopamine boost. So they'll throw on the jewelry and the ice and the nice suits and everything, spend all this money on this stuff just to get killed in it. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest thing about it, and it does go back to what you're saying as well, Magic System. I promise I'm gonna tie all this together. Um, excuse me. The biggest thing is that there's a price that comes with wanting to be seen that bad, with having to be seen that bad. And unfortunately, a big tenet of rap culture is being the most noticeable person in the room, is being the most visible person in the room. Everybody's got to know what you do before you walk in the room, right? You're portraying this persona. You're trying to give off this energy like you're this person or whatever, and maybe you are, maybe you're not, right? So with that being said, you got a situation where like he was talking about the internet, people feed into that. People feed into that. And if you keep telling folks that you're this and you're that and you're this great and you're that great, someone is going to come and test you. Someone's going to, like you said, catch you slip and try to do something to you. And it goes back even to what you were saying, Magic System, is even you being mixed, some people have a problem with that. Colorism is a thing and it goes both ways. And people don't talk about that. People don't like to talk about, everybody likes to talk about racism. We don't like to talk about colorism. And I'm kind of glad that these other subjects are coming in because colorism goes both ways. Because just like how you got bullied for being biracial, as a child, I got came at for being too dark. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people used to say a lot of crazy stuff about color of my skin, height, however you look, everything, man, everything. I remember I didn't even know this until some girl pointed this out when I was a kid, that I had 3 dark spots on my tongue. It's one of those things that, we are allowing ourselves to be sucked in to this concept of image. And it's so bad. And this is before the internet really starts kicking in. So imagine what a lot of these kids and a lot of these soon to be young adults are going through now that the internet is so extremely prevalent and now that everything is so huge. And now, like you said, everything is pre-recorded. It's the same thing, but it's amplified. Because now, where every little group had their own idea of what they liked and what they didn't like, now there is a template. There is a pre-made template for what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in society. Now all you got to do is go on Google and it'll tell you everything you need to know, or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and it'll tell you everything you need to know about who you need to be that day or this week or this month or this year. And it's making it so that things like people being attacked and people's lives being ruined like this. You know, a man got killed. He might have had a family. So what if he's a rapper? He had a life. He was young. But because these things are starting to become more normalized, and because he flashing a little bit more than the next person, and because he might come from a certain life or lifestyle and might have did some dirt in his life, all of a sudden we're not supposed to see that. You know, there will be certain people who feel like it's totally okay that that man died. Like it's totally okay that his kids don't have a daddy anymore. You know, and it extends to some of the stuff that a lot of us went through when we grew up. You know, it's totally fine. Tristan Arnold said, I'm still a little bit behind in the discussion, but it was the same with rock and metal. They didn't want certain things out there because much like rap, it was speaking truth to power. Yes, yes, yes. And I know like you know, man, a lot of those places we tried to go to, hold on. A lot of those places we tried to go to, I remember even when I was in a band and I talked to certain spots. I ain't gonna say what spot it is because I'm not giving them energy. But it was a local area, and I said, hey, we have this, this, and this. We just performed here, you know. I recently did something over here, you know. Is it possible that we could set up a show or an event or something here? And out of everything that we detailed that we did, the main thing that they harped on was, we don't play rap here. You know, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. It's like, yeah, we're a jazz club. I'm like, okay, well, we do more than rap. I was the only rap element in it. You know what I'm saying? And even with metal, bands, I know y'all went through the same thing. It is a stigma, it's a negative stigma that is attached to more aggressive music that has a voice and a message. And that's the main thing, you know, like it's so big. It's become so much of a thing. And now because of the internet and because of other things like that, where a lot of these stereotypes and a lot of these assumptions are well maintained, now you have people that believe it to be fact. That if they have a rapper in their presence, all of a sudden all hell's gonna go loose. That if they have like a metal band in their presence in their area, all of a sudden the whole place is gonna get torn down. Now, anybody with common sense knows that's not going to happen 100% of the time. It may increase the likelihood. Yeah, you might. It depends on who you're dealing with. It depends on how professional the individuals you're dealing with are. Truth be told. Tristan Arnold also said, I, as an artist, have often received threats, and a lot of times it's from people who are jealous of the voice I have and success I've seen because they feel like they don't have that. Yes, that's another part of it. Excuse me. That's another part of it, you know, because what people don't realize is that a lot of us as artists aren't that far up from y'all. You know what I'm saying? We are people too. We have lives. We have things that we have given up, sacrificed in terms of time, energy, and work to get to where we are, to do what we want to do, to have the voice that we have. But because what most people see is the end result, which is you being on stage, you selling merch or CDs or having a big old music video that has a bunch of nice visuals and you guys looking cool and doing promo pictures, they feel like it's given. They feel like it's not earned. And like I can tell you, and like this man can tell you, that's the first thing from the truth, especially when you are in a genre that they do not traditionally align themselves with. I've always said, a lot of people have always said, and I agree, Evansville has always been 10 years behind when it comes to culture, especially with music. And probably 20 years behind when it comes to music and certain preconceived notions. To some degree, it's like we back in the 80s. Still. I had another person, I ain't gonna say their names. Again, we're not doing that today. But I had somebody who did actually have metal bands perform at their establishment, but they wouldn't have rappers there. Even if we promised we wouldn't curse, even if we said, yeah, we'll keep it clean, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, no, we can't do it. And I'm like, why? I'm like, y'all just had a metal band there. It's like, yeah, but can't nobody tell what they're saying. And I'm looking like, okay. I'm like, so you think, and again, it goes back to the voice. It goes back to the voice. Because you have a voice and because it's not an unintelligible voice, you know, it holds power. It holds influence. And it's something that people do feel some type of way about whenever they hear it. I know when we were out there, you know, pre-COVID, a few years ago before PG fell off, when we were out there heavy, making a lot of moves, oh, I was talking my stuff, man. I still got old videos from that, you know. I'd say a whole speech on stage, you know. And had people galvanized, saying all kinds of things, you know. And it wasn't necessarily like some of us was on the more vulgar side. I was more trying to speak truth to power. I was trying to be on that lane. And yes, a lot of people would be made uncomfortable, but they would be made to understand my perspective as well. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I've said that have made people so uncomfortable that they decide to have an issue with me. But at the same time, there were also enough people that wanted to approach me and ask me what my real perspective was on a lot of things too. We can have it both ways, but because of the prevalence of social media, because of the prevalence of certain stereotypes and the way that we understand things to be, that is causing that divide. That's causing the problem. And that goes into the internet aspect of this conversation. Let's listen a little bit to the rest of what Jody got to say, and then I'll.
For y'all, are we numb to it now, and is it just like another day, another death now? Is that what we at in this community now?
I don't know. I wouldn't say numb, cause most of the people that do be losing their life, bro, it be affecting a lot of people. So.
Yeah.
Especially rappers, like these folk got fans and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's people that really, you know, be trying to look up to people and still try to have that role model.
Yeah.
That we all had a role model. You know what I mean? We had somebody that we can look up to. So these kids got to be able to look up to somebody, bro. It just ain't nobody teaching nobody right no more. Everybody know what's real, but except for people who. Listen, bro. It's like when you say you real and you understand something. That means you know the definition of it. Like you're living by it.
Yeah.
Not because you heard somebody say it, because when you hear somebody saying something, you gotta go through it, bruh.
Yeah.
We living in a world where ain't nobody going through nothing. There's no more going through nothing no more. Ain't no more going through nothing. It's what you heard. Or look online, Google it. You can't Google this shit. You can't Google real life, bruh. And that's what we doing. We living in a Google world.
Come on.
What you think gonna come out of it? Innocent people dying. Police is killing everybody. Rappers getting shot left to right. Young ones too.
Yeah.
Not no older ones. The young one. You don't know no better.
Yeah.
You know everything, but you don't know no better. You feel me? Mm-hmm. You got old folks out here, but don't nobody give a damn about no more. Like you like we ain't got no morals. We ain't standing on no principle. We ain't got no guidelines. Everybody's out the box. Whatever you do, if you can get somebody to believe you, you can do it.
Yeah.
Man, we did not come up that we ain't come up like that. So we gonna understand. I'm never gonna understand this shit.
Yeah.
I'm with the internet world. I'll never be internet. I'll never be internet. This shit's weird.
Well, to answer your question, I don't feel my word wouldn't be that we become numb to it. I think we feel hopeless. That would be my word for it. We a lot of us at the point that we're not numb. We feel it. I always think when I hear a young rapper that has gotten killed, what could he or she could have been, and normally he, but what could that person have been? What would they turn out? Because we all know at 25 you're different at 30, at 30 you're different at 40, at 40 you're different at 50.
Yeah.
When I told you all the time, niggas be coming up to me like, Wick, I be listening to your old music, man. You don't be selling dope. You don't be on the corner no more. I said, nigga, I'm 50 years old. You listen to some nigga when I was 25.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If I was still doing that, what kind of man would I be?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think right now that we feel hopeless. We don't know where it's coming from. We kind of speculate that, everybody blaming something else. The white man did it 400 years ago. Like Jody just said a minute ago, from you coming out of this lane of selling dope or doing this right here, so you shouldn't be walking around with no ice. So we all got an excuse for why we think it's happening, but it go back to what we were saying. What is the solution to stop it? It just don't make sense because there's a lot of people, a lot of different ethnic groups that have money that still have honor.
Yeah.
The mafia back in the day, you know what I'm saying? The Italian mafia. It was honor. You had to go through channels to be able to knock a boss off, a Nipsey Hussle off. You had to have a sit down.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If I just jumped out of line and knocked off a Tupac or something, Jody would, use call me to the table. You wouldn't sanction to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, this is death. What are the rules?
Ain't no more. It's the money. Money rules. Money the rules. When niggas was getting money, we got money. So everybody not on like money.
Yeah.
It's about the principle. Cause if I got some money and you got some money, he got some money, what we finna be doing ain't got nothing to do with no money.
Come on.
This shit ain't even have nothing to do. All of us got money, so now what?
Yep.
So now who are you now? Like, okay, now you got a house and nice little car, you got your nice ass crib and little whoop, got my shit going on. Now what? What that mean now? Like, will that make me a good nigga, a real nigga? Or no. Get to know me. Let's talk, let's have a conversation. Like, who the fuck are you, man? That's what we losing it. We don't know no damn, you don't know these damn people, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody know no damn body. This is the smartest, dumbest world I've ever seen in my life. We got the smartest, dumbest world. Everybody know everything, but don't really know nothing.
All right, so, and that goes kind of into my final point, just about, man, he's right. Excuse me, he's right. Going back into what Tristan was saying, a lot of these people will go as far as sending threats, saying all kinds of wild stuff to us, being disrespectful. Not all of us, but a lot of us. And even if and God forbid, if one of us get in trouble with something, all of a sudden everybody is all in an uproar. They all have opinions of what to say and, what that means for us and what we should be representing. You're gonna have a lot of people that want to put their hands in everything and want to tell you how you are supposed to conduct yourself as an artist, which suggestions are fine, but it's not a mandate. I don't have to go along with what you tell me to do. I don't have to go along with what you think I should be. But what you realize is, because I went through a lot of this. And so I got perfect examples of this. A lot of them don't come up and talk to you. a lot of them don't come up and talk to you. They don't try to get to know the rap artists or the metal artists. They don't try to get to know who you are. Hell, half the time the sound guy won't even talk to you. You know, I remember us having issues like that. I kind of wish that one of the guys from the Jangle Sheep was on here because we had issues with that a couple times when we was at Lamasco's. Sound guy didn't want to listen to anything we were saying. You know, there's no respect there. I remember being in shows and having to basically argue for my right to grab a mic because the DJ or whoever the host is don't want to have no respect for what I'm doing. What I'm doing because, you know, he ain't looking at that. He want to get his thing going, you know. And I don't know much about how things are in the metal world, but I'm pretty sure some of it is similar because when it comes to either lesser known or lesser considered art forms, when it comes into music, there is a lot of disrespect there. There's a lot of consideration that isn't given. There's a lot of consideration that isn't given. You know, who said it? Because I think DJ Academics has sit there and said that a lot of the old school rappers who started in the pioneers are dusty and they making no money. I'm like, dude, they came from an era where you couldn't make money off of half of this stuff. For one. For two, we the only ones that's sitting here pocket watching our pioneers. Ain't nobody pocket watching Smokey Robinson. Okay? You know, that's neither here nor there. But my main point is a lot of these things can be avoided if we look past the stigmas, if we look past the image, if we look past the ice, if we look past the grunge, if we look past all these other things that are nothing more than aesthetic, and sit down and talk to somebody. You know, that's not some symbol or entity, you know, just or some brand that somebody killed. That was a man. That was a human being. He had a family, he had a life, he had things that he might have wanted to pursue. He wake up in the morning, you know, go pee and brush his teeth like everybody else. And now he can't because somebody decided to have a reason to take him out, you know? And like Jody Breeze said, we living in the smartest, dumbest era because everybody thinks they know something and they don't know nothing. Because they're going off of hearsay. It's not learned experience. You don't need learned experience when you can Google everything. But the problem is there is no regulation of what the truth is when it's out there. Just like the example we had earlier when somebody was talking about the quote unquote purge law. You see what I had to do. Even if I type it in, I got to look up 2-3 articles before I get to the actual truth of whatever it is we're talking about. And even then, there still may be some misinformation in there. Now think about that, but with other people, public figures and things of that nature, where a lot of these kids and a lot of these people that are doing all this wild stuff, like these kids out here doing these TikTok challenges, they don't know nothing about anybody who is starting this stuff other than it's started and it's popular. There's no way to verify the truth. There's no way to legitimize anything properly. So as a result, people are just going off of face value of everything. That's why a lot of stuff is happening right now, the way it is, you know. This is deeper than just rap. This is deeper than just the internet, but it is all connected. That's why I said it's rap, deaf, and the internet. It's all connected because a lot of it comes from people having assumptions about how you're living, about where you stand, where you should stand, and how they want to feel about it, and how bothered they want to be about it, and how many issues they want to have about it. And suddenly, on the extreme end, that means that your life is forfeit. You don't need to be on this earth anymore because somebody's got a problem with you, you know? And that's what we're talking about. It's like, because I'm willing to bet, I don't know if you're still on, Tristan, but I'm willing to bet money. Some of those people that came at your neck ain't never sat down and talked to you. Because I sat down and talked with this man. Me and this man had a lot of good conversations, both on and off the internet. They never had a problem with this man. We're in two different genres, you know. Now, according to stereotypes and stuff, neither one of us is supposed to agree with each other. You know, I should think he's weird and he should think I'm crazy. Right? I had that situation. In so many cases, I had so many different cases where people would come up to me and they talk to me and they say, "Man, I thought you was one of those type people that was standoffish and holier than thou and you didn't mess with nobody." But yeah, no, it turns out you work with everybody. You cool. I'm like, yeah, I try to be. A lot can be changed from talking to people. A lot can be changed from sitting down and getting your own information, seeking the right information, instead of just looking for the first thing to come up. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. You know, you got a problem with somebody, you see somebody who you feel like shouldn't have what they have. That's your perception. That's great, but get to know that person if you can. Get to understand them. We have social media and we use it for every wrong reason. You have the opportunity to get to know tons of different people and we don't use it for that. Instead, we use it to form some kind of profile with somebody so that way we can have a reason to feel what we feel about them and not feel the cognitive dissonance. And now what you have is you have little focus groups all through social media of different people who think exactly like you and are just as deluded as you are, who will support your delusions because they in the same state. Y'all link up and connect, and then all of a sudden it's 20 of y'all that feel galvanized to be mad at somebody for some reason. When before the internet and before social media was so big, you were alone. And you had to think about what your perspective was. You had to think about what you were talking about and whether or not there was validity in it. Now you have support. There are support systems for ignorance and foolishness and stupidity. You know, that's why you can have a Kyle Rittenhouse, because you know why you have a Kyle Rittenhouse? And this is kind of off topic, but it's not. You know why you can have a Kyle Rittenhouse running around, walking around 15 years old with whole automatic weapons, and nobody's got a problem with him? But they see a rapper doing the same thing, and they got every problem in the world, and they want that man shot because a Kyle Rittenhouse got 20,000 other idiots behind him saying, "Oh yeah, bro, do that. We agree." That mentality creates people like that. But at the same time, if Kyle Rittenhouse looked like me, and maybe he had a chain or two on, and Mike couldn't be able to rap, that same group would want to kill him. It's just a look, and it's not, I'm not saying these things that you have to agree with everything I'm saying. It's just food for thought. Consider how much, I'm not even one of those type people to go full Hotep and say we being programmed by the internet, but in some ways we are. There's too many scholars and intellectuals on the internet. that don't have any qualification to be saying anything that they saying. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people I've encountered that don't have a social work degree, a psychology degree, or a human resources degree, whatever, that want to try to psychoanalyze somebody like either me or somebody else, and I see it all over the internet. And I'm looking at them because I actually went to those classes. I actually just came out of a day-long training for motivational interviewing. And a lot of people don't know what that is. You should look into it. It's very interesting. We might talk about it later on. And I'm looking like, Dad, that all it take? Well, hell, maybe you can do my job. Maybe like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you don't. Because talking on the internet's easier. We got a whole bunch of experts and a lot of them that don't want to listen. Now, how does that make sense? The way you become an expert, the way you gain expertise, the way you learn is by listening. You have to learn and have a willingness to learn. Instead, we got all these people on the internet that want to say they know everything. They're not learning. So when you try to approach them with truth, because I've had situations like this with with kids that are like 12, 14, 15, when you try to approach them with some truth and something that holds some validity and some value, some might listen, but a lot of them don't. They rail against it. They want to have an issue with it, and they want to feel like you're being oppressive towards them when you're just trying to give them game. That's our future. When we're gone, that's who's going to run the world. Think about that. It goes a lot deeper. We got a whole generation, and I know now we're starting to sound like the old folks. I'm starting to sound like a lot of the old folks who used to say all this stuff about my generation. It wasn't us. Oh, no. We were the start of it. No, it's these ones now. Now you're seeing the generation that doesn't listen. They don't care nothing about nobody. They all fighting for a spot that isn't guaranteed. Just to be somebody or look like somebody, just to end up becoming another target. And I'm rambling, but I'm gonna chill. Because there's a lot more that we could talk about, but you know, the hours is wearing thin. And you know, y'all don't want to hear me ramble all day. But anyway, this has been the Black in a Minute podcast, sponsored by the illustrious Twyman Art. I've been NeRo AnGelo. I do appreciate you guys coming on here and sharing a little bit with us and talking. You know, we should be back up and running at full speed by next week. I'll definitely confirm with people later. Me and DarksKing have just been taking our time with certain things and kind of learning to actually take breaks for once. And, you know, so that's why you haven't seen us together as much, or certain weeks where we're not active. You know, it's just life stuff. But I do definitely appreciate y'all being on here and sharing what you wanted to share. If you do want to add and be one of the first people to have an opinion on what we talk about, please do join the Discord. I can't stress that enough. Join the Discord. Get on with us. You know, I check that mug all the time. That's going to get you the easiest link to us. You know, honestly. That's going to get you the easiest link to us. Because that's instant. That's instant. Excuse me. That's kind of how we decide on a lot of these topics now. So it's definitely something that, you know, if you wanna have a hand in this, that's what you should be a part of. That's where you should go. Also, I'm gonna post the link to the store. We got these new shirts. Look, if you want you a shirt like this, the Control the Controllable shirt, or just the original, the OG Black in a Minute shirt, go on the site. Go on the site. Can't stress it enough. We might have some discounts coming up soon since the year has changed, since the time of year is changing. You know, it's almost we well deep in the spooky season. We already started off. You know, I know a lot of us didn't watch that Hocus Pocus movie, so we've already started. October is here. But yeah, you know, stay linked up with us. Stay linked up with us. And we want y'all to keep tabs on us. We want y'all to stay up on us so that way we're doing what we're supposed to do and giving y'all what we're supposed to give y'all. You know? But yeah, we do appreciate y'all being here. And I hope this discussion has touched and reflected on some people and maybe caused you to think about some things. I just leave it with this. Okay, hey, appreciate you. Kiki Nikodu said, got some compliments and interest from wearing my top to church today. I appreciate you. Much appreciation, much appreciation. I wore this one to church today, actually, myself. So yeah, I had this with the cardigan on. So, you know, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And be sure to share some of the photos that if y'all walking around with the shirts, share some photos of how y'all look in the shirts. We want to know what y'all look like, you know, because if the fabric's off or something's going on, you know, we want to make sure that looks right. Like this one, I believe the one that I have is, let me confirm it. I'm checking the email now. What I have is the comfort tee. This is the comfort tee. So, and it definitely is what it says on the tin. It fits well. This is a large, you know. I believe this is a large. No, it's an XL. Yeah, it's an XL. It fits just right. It fits just right. It's comfortable. It's breathable, you know. It's got a little stretch to it. And the comfort tees cost a little bit extra, but for that little bit extra, you get a good bit, you get a good setup, you know. So make sure you're getting on that. Make sure you're getting on that. Look, we hopefully, what I want to do is ideally make a collage of different people wearing the different shirts. Speaking of that, I think there's a couple people that were wanting to get some shirts, and we might have to make that happen. If there are some, just remind me. I'll shoot you the link, or I'll try to get them to you. You know, we'll get that handled. But anyway, do appreciate y'all being around. The link to the video that we reviewed today is also in the comments. I'll make sure to put it in the description later as well, so that way you can view it in its entirety. Actually check out the whole interview, honestly, because there was a lot of good things that Jody was saying in that interview. Just this was something that I felt was worth talking about at this point. But yeah, this has been a Black in a Minute podcast. I'm NeRo AnGelo, here to say peace out. Power.